History rarely produces a life with this much sheer velocity. We are looking at a man who has experienced the zenith of global sporting fame, the immense power of a prime minister's office, and the total isolation of a prison cell. On the global stage, his athletic dominance is a matter of historical record. Among the world's best, he stood out as a peerless commander. Yet the man who eventually moved millions with a single speech started out entirely different. As a child, he was almost completely silent. To understand that gap, we must go back almost 74 years to a quiet, slow-paced Lahore that barely resembles his world today. Reconciling the world-famous leader with the introverted child requires looking at how his early environment and heritage shaped that internal drive. His psychological baseline was formed by the merging of two powerful tribal legacies. From his father, a civil engineer named Imran Khan, he inherited the strict honor code and rigid discipline of the Niazi tribe. This Pashtun ancestry carried a distinct, undeniable weight, drawing deeply from a warrior lineage defined by fierce independence and unyielding pride. Then there was his mother, Shaukat Khanum. She came from the Burki tribe, originally hailing from Jalandhar. The Burkis were a highly educated people, and perhaps most crucially for his future, they carried a generations-long pedigree in the sport of cricket. This overlap of rigid tribal honor and a specialized sporting history meant he was raised with a very specific set of expectations, waiting for the right moment to be activated. That environment was a family home in Lahore. Born on October 5, 1952, he was the long-awaited only son, arriving after 4 older sisters. This created a unique dynamic. While he was heavily pampered by his sisters, his father's strict rules provided a hard counterbalance that kept him grounded. Life centered on Zaman Park, a sprawl of large trees and birds where he could spend hours in the open fields. In this space, he was incredibly shy. He spent much of his time in solitary observation, climbing high into the branches of old trees, away from the noise of social gatherings. Within this safe, enclosed world of the park, he began playing his first casual cricket matches with his cousins on the grass. The isolation of Zaman Park, combined with his father's firm boundaries, meant all his quiet energy was funneled into a single direction, mastering the game. Look closely at the boy right before he leaves this refuge. Behind that silence was a habit of intense observation. He was constantly watching, internalizing his father's discipline and the weight of the Burki cricket legacy. Zaman Park had provided the perfect roots, but those traits were now ready to be tested in a much larger arena. That next step was enrollment at Lahore's most prestigious school, Atchison College. Atchison was a highly competitive proving ground. Here, the habits he developed in the privacy of his backyard would meet genuine, world-class ambition. Crossing the gates of Atchison College meant the backyard games were over. This was the moment his introverted focus met a public, competitive world.